Welcome back everyone, and thank you for joining us today. This is not just another update from the Department for Work and Pensions. This is a story that could affect the daily lives, the financial stability and the independence of millions of people across the United Kingdom. If you or someone you know lives with a disability, a long-term health condition, or struggles with mobility, then what you're about to hear could change everything. The DWP is urgently reminding people to check their eligibility for a crucial benefit, one that can provide regular support of up to £110 per week. That's not a one-off payment, not a short-term scheme, but a vital lifeline called Personal Independence Payment, or PIP. For so many, it is the difference between being able to live independently and being pushed further into struggle. And with the cost of living continuing to squeeze households across the country, this support is more important than ever before. PIP isn't just another benefit. It is specifically designed for people living with long-term physical or mental health conditions, disabilities, or learning difficulties. It's there to help with the extra costs that come with daily living, with mobility, and with maintaining dignity and independence at home. And here's something crucial to understand: it doesn't matter if you're still working, it doesn't matter if you have savings, and it doesn't matter if you already claim other benefits. PIP is non-means tested and tax-free. That means it is based entirely on your health needs, not your income or financial circumstances. For the financial year of 2025 and 2026, the rates have increased. On the 17th of April 2025, the DWP raised PIP payments by 1.7%, in line with inflation, to try and help households keep up with soaring prices. This increase means that claimants will now receive either £73.90 or £110.40 per week, depending on the level of support they qualify for. Payments are made every 4 weeks, which means you could see either £295.60 or £441.60 landing in your account each pay period. Over a full year, that adds up to a maximum of £5,740.80. For many, that is a financial safety net they simply cannot live without. But here is where things get more complicated and more concerning. Earlier this year, the government announced that changes to PIP are coming. From November 2026, new rules will come into force that could see thousands of people lose their entitlement altogether. That announcement has been met with widespread criticism from disability campaigners, charities, and even MPs, who warn that cutting support will push some of the most vulnerable in society even further into hardship. Yet despite this looming change, right now PIP remains available, and the DWP is urging people not to wait but to check eligibility and apply. So let's break it down. What exactly is PIP, and who can get it? Personal Independence Payment is split into two parts, a daily living component and a mobility component. You may qualify for one, or you may qualify for both. And each of these parts has two levels: a standard rate and an enhanced rate. The new weekly amounts look like this. For daily living support, the lower weekly rate is £73.90, while the higher weekly rate is £110.40. For mobility, the lower weekly rate is £29.20, while the enhanced rate is £77.05. That means if you qualify for both enhanced daily living and enhanced mobility, your total support could be £749.80 every 4 weeks. If you qualify for both at the standard level, you will still receive £412.40 every 4 weeks. And remember, this is not taxable, and it does not reduce other benefits you may be receiving. Now here's the question so many people have: what health conditions qualify you for PIP? The DWP doesn't actually base decisions on the label of your condition, but rather on how it affects your daily life. That means two people with the same diagnosis could have very different outcomes, depending on their needs. However, there are some conditions that are commonly linked to successful claims. According to reports, there are 87 musculoskeletal conditions alone that could make someone eligible for PIP. These range from arthritis, osteoporosis, and back disorders, to conditions like fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, or serious injuries that continue to impact mobility and independence. The list is long, covering osteoarthritis of the hips, knees, and other joints, rheumatoid arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, gout, Paget's disease, scoliosis, spinal stenosis, slip discs, frozen shoulder, carpal tunnel syndrome, chronic pain syndromes, fractures with long-term complications, and even genetic conditions such as Marfan syndrome or osteogenesis imperfecta. But remember, it's not the diagnosis itself that secures PIP. It's whether you struggle with tasks like preparing food, washing and bathing, dressing, managing medication, engaging with other people, or moving around. If your condition makes these things difficult, even if it isn't on an official list, you may still qualify. That's why campaigners urge anyone who thinks they might be eligible not to be put off from applying. So how does the process work? To apply for PIP, you will need to undergo an assessment by an independent healthcare professional. This isn't always a doctor, it could be a nurse, a physiotherapist, or another trained assessor. Their job is to look at how your condition affects your daily life, not to question whether your diagnosis is valid. Assessments can be carried out in different ways. Some are face-to-face, some are done by video call, some over the phone, and in some cases, paper-based assessments are carried out without you having to attend in person. You don't get to choose which type you will have, that's up to the DWP. Once the assessment is complete, the DWP will decide which components you qualify for, and whether you receive the standard or enhanced rate. And if your condition changes over time, your award can be reviewed to reflect that. Now, while the support PIP offers is vital, the looming changes in 2026 have left many worried. Critics argue that tightening the rules will unfairly penalize people who already face daily challenges. Disability groups warn that thousands will lose their entitlement even if their needs have not changed. And for pensioners who already feel overlooked, the idea of losing PIP support is particularly concerning. Remember, PIP can be claimed beyond state pension age, as long as you applied before reaching it. That makes it one of the few disability benefits still open to older people. And this brings us to the heart of the matter. PIP is not just a financial payment. It is about independence, dignity, and support in daily life. Whether it helps to pay for mobility aids, transport, home adaptations, or the extra costs of managing a long-term illness, it provides more than just money, it provides stability. The DWP's message is clear: if you think you might qualify, don't delay. Check your eligibility, make the call, and start your application. With inflation pushing prices higher and changes on the horizon, every month of support matters. Too many people miss out because they assume they won't qualify. Others give up because the process can feel daunting. But thousands who go through it successfully say it was worth it, because that regular payment made the difference between struggling alone and being able to cope. As we look ahead to 2026, one thing is certain: the debate around PIP is far from over. The government insists changes are needed to make the system sustainable. Campaigners argue that support must be protected, not cut back. And in the middle of this, millions of ordinary people are left worrying about their futures. For now, though, the support is there. Up to £749 every 4 weeks. Up to £5,740 across a year. Non-means tested, tax-free, and designed to help with the realities of living with a disability or long-term condition.